Yeah, let's do that. Wow, that's a little blinding. All right, let's turn that down just a little bit. Is that better?
I don't know. So keep moving.
What?
Are we on? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. We are setting up. We are in a castle on a mountain in a full moon, and the tribe is coming. They are coming.
They're coming. Who's
So
here?
as you guys come in, grab one of those sheets. We're going to be using those. Welcome to the castle. And there are friends actually joining from all over the world right now. So we have a live stream. We have the live bodies. This is really fun. Yeah, come on in. Find us a great place to sit. What do we have? Jerry's there. Truey. Hey, Truey, welcome. And Hillary from Texas. This is really cool. Hi. So you're one of Adam's team?
Faces to the voices.
What's your name? Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Jennifer.
Welcome. So, hey guys on Facebook and our friends entering in this beautiful castle. We are at Tooth and Nail Vineyard in Paso Robles. It's this amazing, it's literally a castle on a hill. There's a moat. There's a moat. You guys had to come across a moat to get here.
Right?
So I've never ever done a training in a castle before. Hey, Amy, welcome guys, come in. Make yourselves comfortable. We are family here, or at least we will be as the night progresses. Mary right there in the front. That's all. So Mary, what's really cool, you guys, is our tribe is coming on. We're doing a Facebook Live. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched our morning chats. We've had like 100,000 views. We have friends that tune in from 11 countries. So we have people who are coming in from Moscow and Israel and all over Europe. So this is an event. And we're really grateful. And we're really, really excited. Where is Adam? I bet Adam's at the bar. Adam is at the bar. So for all of our Central Coast friends, Adam Montiel from the Up and Adam show at Coast 104.5. He's a reason why a lot of us are here. Hey, Laura, can we put you right there? Pardon me?
Yes, she's in trouble. We need to
Yeah,
keep our eye on her.
she is a troublemaker.
There you
She is
are.
a troublemaker. So.
She's Laura.
Yeah, welcome. This is really fun. Who do we have? Serene, Janie. Morgan just jumped in. Hey, Morgan, welcome.
Morgan. I can't read. You're going to have to read that.
My husband, Paul. Hey, Paul, where are you? Paul? Paul, your wife is watching. Paul. I swear I saw him. That's really funny. She's like, my husband and his friend are there. They're here, guys, I promise. Right? We might have to bring Paul up to wave to his wife so we have verification. Adam. Hey, Adam, would you come up here, please?
It's an interactive
Yeah.
type of
So
thing here.
I want to introduce you to our live.
Oh, is this how you do it?
Yeah, this is how we do it. Guys.
Facebook!
This is
He's got like the little floodlight with the diffuser and everything. You're all
look at
pro
that.
now.
Look at that. Adam
And he's got the little like fuzzy little thing on the mic.
You gotta have the fuzzy thing on the mic. So this is Adam from the Up and Adam show. How
You
long?
might recognize the voice.
Say something. Radio.
Let me see something. I'm just myself. This is Bill Poet on Up and Adam in the morning.
Ooh,
Yeah.
genius. All right, now where's
So
Shelby's
you're telling
husband?
him- Are you telling him to go back to his seat? Or what?
No.
Oh, what?
Guys,
just stay there the whole time.
Stand here awkwardly, like kind of just like suspended, kind of.
I want to.
What do you want?
I want to thank Adam. I started being on Adam's show 4 years ago.
No, I think it's maybe more 5+.
Yeah, and we've been getting together once a week talking about the ABCs of Peak Performers. And how many of you guys are Adam fans? Like, okay, so We're here at Tooth and Nail Vineyard. You have another show called Cork Dorks.
Cork Dorks and Liquid Lunch, where we talk about the wine stuff, and that's how I know Joe and Rob and...
Where's Joe? Oh, there's Joe. Joe is our hostess from this beautiful vineyard, Tooth and Nail.
Love you, Joe!
In Paso Robles. They have a moat. We are in a castle, a full moon. Are you guys, there's a full moon and we're in a castle. So I don't know what's going to happen tonight. But there it is right there. We are in for an epic evening. So
Good
Adam,
to see you, my man.
and guys, Adam is a black belt.
I am.
How many of you guys
used
do
to
that?
teach me karate.
Adam, I taught this
So
guy
I am
karate.
kind of, it's his fault if you, yeah.
Back in the
because
day.
of you, yeah.
Back in the day. So thank you. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks for setting us up here.
So,
There's a lot of energy in here. Are you guys ready?
good, because I'm not sure I'm ready.
You're not ready?
I'm ready.
I don't know.
I'm ready.
So, I am Dr. Laura Ciel, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about us in case you don't know in a moment.
I'm Bill
You probably
Poet,
should introduce yourself.
the other half of Life Advance International, and our commitment to you guys live and here is when you leave this castle. I've never been able to say that before. You will be changed. You will be changed. You will walk out of here with some tools and some insights and some experiences that are going to let you have more joy and more fun and more access. So, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. This is really interactive. Your energy and your engagement, and Mary being right here in the front row. Mary started 1 month ago training with us, and
Life has changed.
her life has changed. So that's what we're here to do tonight, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You know, some of you know Bill really well, some know me, some just a little bit, and some I know I met a few just before this started who just came along just out of a instinct of, hey, I want to find out what this is about and meet you and find out what you have to say. So we want to start with, you know, and I was trying to decide which story. It's really important to Bill and I that this be real. You know, that this is real. You guys, it's real life. It's your lives. And I'm in the process of writing this book, and it's life and death and all that means. And I work a couple times a week in an ICU, you know, on a palliative care team. And so I'm working with people who either they themselves or their loved ones are facing a really difficult illness, and sometimes a much sooner death than they expected. And I don't know if you guys know the study that this nurse did in Australia or New Zealand, I can't remember, and I apologize, Australia,
Yeah.
where she talked to those in hospice care and asked what, if any, regrets that these people had about looking back over their lives. And the number one regret is that I didn't have the courage to live my life. And it makes me, you know, I start to cry just thinking of that, because in my life, I don't know that I would be here right now had I not experienced the sudden death of my mom about 14 years ago. And, you know, when something like that happens in your life, and we all have stuff that happens in our life. No one gets through life without having something, whether it be health, whether it be death, whether it be illness, whether it be job loss, you know, transitions, divorce, things that happen that we never really planned when we were planning our lives out. And, you know, I was saying earlier today to someone that my mom's death was probably one of the two most difficult things in my life, well, one of the three most difficult things in my life, and yet I received the greatest gift, and the gift was, and this didn't happen right away, but the gift was that it made me reflect on my own mortality and the realization that I don't have forever. We don't know how long we have. And so if that's the case, what does that mean? You know, what does that mean to me, and what does it mean for the people I'm working with? Because I was a psychologist before my mom died. I was helping people and doing my work and everything before she died, but something really shifted. And, you know, whether it be, and I see it so often, people, loved ones who are, you know, holding hands, and they're sharing stories about what matters in their life when they recognize that, you know, someone's going to die soon. Not all of us have that opportunity. I didn't have it with my mom. But we all have the opportunity right now to look at our own lives and look at what really matters to us, what matters to our heart, who are the people that really matter, what are the values that we hold dearly in our lives, and to fight for that. You know, it's not easy. It's not like you can just sit back and, you know, if you just do X, Y, and Z, everything turns out just wonderfully. But every single person in this room, or I should say it the other way around, not one person in this room can say, everything's gone perfectly in my life. And yet, you know, and I'm one of those people where for a while, people from the outside thought everything was perfect, you know, and boy, did I work hard to try to keep that up, you know, and I was killing myself. I mean, really what I was doing. So the invitation today, you know, I share a little bit of that about my work and about my personal story, because it's an invitation for you to just reflect on your own life. And we're going to be going through a process, and we're going to be talking about some tools and some things, and they're not out here, and they're not just in your left brain. They're actually things that you can use in your life, in big situations and in really small, short interactions. So our hope is that you leave today with just one, at minimum, one thing that you can use in your life, starting right now, that's just going to shift a little bit so that you're not one of those people who regrets not having lived your own life.
What you will learn about us is we care. Paul, your wife is here, and we didn't know where you were. Okay, so he's here. Maybe bathroom break, but he's here. So just checking in, because she was all excited. She's like, my husband's here. He is here. What you guys will learn is we care. We are not perfect, and that's something I'm really clear about. Yeah,
We're not perfect. We're the first to say it.
We care, and there's a problem with that. If you are an empathetic person and you really care, you will suffer. You're going to walk into a Starbucks and you're going to hear the chatter. You're going to hear the noise. And what I hear are people in pain. And I look around me, and I don't know how to explain this to you guys. There's a lot of little kids still in me. And I remember...
All the little kids or kid?
Kid. little kid.
Just checking.
Thank you.
How many?
This is the psychologist that I'm in love with. How many are in you right now? Which Bill is going to show up this evening? I remember being on the playground with you guys. And I remember everybody having a dream. I remember massive energy. And I remember blasting out of bed and wanting something magic to happen in my life. And
This definitely would have been before junior high.
way before junior high, right? Like first grade.
Speaking for myself.
And I haven't lost that. And I've actually worked very, very hard to maintain that. And so what the adventure we're going to take you guys on, we're not here to give you anything. We're not here to change you in any way. It's really about helping you remember. Helping you guys remember that little voice, that dream that was inside of you is literally the most important thing that is.
Well, that child that didn't hesitate to do something out of fear that someone was going to think something. And again, this is, you know, prior to age 6, 7 when the ego starts developing. But in those early stages where you're laughing and you're playing, you're doing silly things because you know what? It feels good, or you're kind of excited to figure something out. That's in all of us still.
You had no self-image challenges. You know, when you're 5 years old, you meet somebody, let's play. Hi. You know,
or just walk up and just hug him like my son did, and not knock him over out of his enthusiasm.
So what has happened is the world started telling you to stop. The world started telling you to be quiet. And you know, we have a lot of women in the room. You know, when I grew up in the 60s, women don't, you know, this is, my sister was, when someone would meet her, hi, are you going to be a nurse when you grow up? I thank God the younger women in this audience don't have that same challenge. But there's so much stuff that was put on you that isn't real and it isn't honest. My background is very different from Dr. Seals. I was a close quarter combat instructor. My specialty was knife fighting. And my job, I got to work with members of special operations teams, and my job was to prepare them physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, to go into the worst environments and win. And if you ever stand in front of a SEAL, a member of a special team, they have the biggest BS-ometers in the world. And if you don't know what that term is, you're going to get it really quickly. They have no time in their life for bullshit. I don't know if we can say that. It doesn't matter. We're in a castle. It's okay. So
More than that.
yeah, because their lives matter. And their missions matter. And they have a sense of integrity and a sense of urgency that we aren't giving to our kids. One of the
To
reasons,
ourselves.
or definitely to ourselves. So our kids are being taught stuff that has no relevance whatsoever to them. They're being taught things that they know doesn't work. They're being taught things that aren't real. And so, what are we here to do tonight? My little girl, when she was going to first grade, do you remember how excited first graders were? We have 2 high school kids who we are doing everything in our power we can so that they can survive their senior years. That kills me. What have we done as a society to take these children that were so full of life and so full of power and so full of juice and joy, and 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, have you seen how they walk? They walk with their heads down. They're already beaten, and they're not even out in the game yet. All right, so we are here at Life Advance International. We're here tonight to turn that around.
And it starts with you.
Yeah, you guys are it. I don't know if you guys know the pressure you are under right
When
now.
you signed your name
Yeah.
earlier,
There's a reason we're in a castle.
she's getting nervous. The new people are getting nervous.
That's why you sauced us up.
Yeah, we gave you a little bit of wine. If you guys are at home, I would recommend having a glass of wine, because we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to have fun
We're
tonight.
not having fun yet?
I'm having fun. I think they're having fun. We're also going to be very real with you guys. I've
So do you
been.
want to say any more about your background? For
Oh.
people who don't, a lot of people know you, but.
So I'm the author of the ABCs of Peak Performers. If you guys are from the Up and Adam world, you hear me on Wednesday mornings with Adam Montiel. And it's a great book. I took the attributes of some of the best men, women, warriors, and we condensed them into exercises. How you develop more balance or focus or perseverance. This is something really cool, guys. We talked about this in a training today. No one was born a master of anything. Well, you might have been. No. So when you watch an Olympic gymnast, we were talking about there's this violinist, I don't know her name, but she starts like playing this
You're
classical
talking
music.
about Lindsay Sterling.
And then she starts riffing rock and roll on the violin, right? She wasn't born like that. It's trained. So what we're going to talk about is everyone here, there, all over the world, if you would love to have a better year next year, if you would really love to have a better 2017, raise your hand. Okay, you guys give us some hearts.
You just want a better way?
Okay?
I just want a better day.
A better day. All right, so we're going to start
That's what
small.
you
Just want a better day.
One day at a time, right?
Give me one day and I'll be happy.
It is not going to happen accidentally. If you guys made a decision, I am going to become great at tennis. Tennis is a pretty complicated game. You would not walk out on a tennis court your first day without sucking. And but with the right training and with the right tools, you could master the game of tennis. What fascinates me is people don't look at life the same way. People don't think, well, wait, you mean I need to train for life? I need to understand how my body works, how relationships work, how the universe. I'm gonna tell you guys a
I
tip.
pretty much thought that if I tried really hard and did well in school, everything else was guaranteed. Anyone else feel that way?
If you're a really good person, right, and you try
Good person,
really
if you check
hard.
those boxes off, then everything would be great.
So going back, that's enough of my background. Going back to the empathy, I've never met a person who didn't want more. But it isn't the stuff that we've convinced ourselves we want more. It isn't the UPS truck pulling up in front of your house, even though we like that, right? We get that momentary high of shopping, or we get that momentary high of exercise, or we get that momentary. What we want is more love. We want more connection. We want more feeling. We want more of these words. When Laura talked about the hospice, I mean, twice a week she is with people who last week thought they had the rest of their lives ahead of them. And this week, they are realizing they might not.
Or thought their child had the rest of their life, or thought their parent had the rest of their life. So Yeah. It's,
There's this awakening. And so what we're going to talk about tonight, guys, is really what does it mean to get more? But it isn't more of the external stuff. The external stuff is really nice, right? We need the external stuff. But if you have all the money and you have all the fame and you have all the beauty, all of that stuff, but you have lost yourself in the process, you literally have nothing. I call it Robin Williams syndrome. Here is a man that was rich, famous, loved by everyone, and yet he had been lost. And
well,
so,
yeah, and he gifted people, and yet there was some disconnect within him. So you'll hear us talk a lot in this process. It's not about someone or something else happening that's going to shift your life. It really is about you, and it starts within. And sometimes that's hard for people who are givers, helpers. You want to do and give for other people, and we forget that we need to start here. And this doesn't mean that you're a selfish person. That was my belief a while back, that if I focus on something that mattered to me, that I was being selfish. And actually, it's the opposite. By not nurturing and honoring who you are and the gift. I mean, every single person in this room and on this planet has been gifted with a life. Every single person has a different set of strengths, weaknesses, desires, passions, gifts to share with the world. And if we dishonor that, we dishonor the life that we've been given. So rather than what we tend to do, which is to, if only he would do this, or if only she would do this, if my life would be this, if I had this job, if I moved here, if I got married, whatever it is, then things would be better. Then my day would be better, my month, my year, the rest of my life would be better. And guess what? I think that's going back to checking those boxes off where, yeah, sorry, there's still going to be stuff. So with the stuff that we all have in life that we don't have control over, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about what we do have control over? Which is our perspective, and it's small choices every day. I mean, the people who work with us in our different courses and one-on-one sometimes are a little bit embarrassed and surprised to say, well, I don't know if this is a big win to share. I just noticed this small thing that I'm doing a little bit differently with my kids, or this small thing I did a little bit differently at work, or with my husband, or with my wife, or with my friends, or with my family, whatever it is. And like, wow, you know what? I noticed I was doing that yesterday, and I noticed today, and becoming more aware and conscious of it, and feeling different inside. That's you reconnecting with you. It's not some big, oh, you know what? And then if you do X, Y, Z, everything's going to be completely different tomorrow, and everything's going to be wonderful.
it's a huge win. Those internal wins, when you go home and you listen to your child, and I mean you stop what you're doing and you sit and you look them in the eyes and you listen to them, that changes the course of the world. Far more than when your child brings home that trophy or that thing because they want you to listen to them. Are you guys following? So what we're going to do tonight in this adventure, so we're in a castle, there's a full moon, right? We're set up perfectly for an adventure.
Can you still see it?
I mean, literally, this is so bizarre. I mean, there's a giant, if anything weird happens tonight, we're going to blame Joe. Okay, because we're in the castle here.
Or the moon, or
if something magical happens, when something magical, we're also going to thank Joe for allowing us into this space. So what we have done, what we have made our lives work, is how does it work? I sat in a room with the president of Hughes Aircraft. Brilliant man. He had 75,000 employees, 35,000 engineers. There's never been a company that had that much knowledge supported by that little admin. They did $10 billion in revenue that year. And the question was, how did you do it? How did it work? Laura has traveled all over the world working with some how did you do it? How does it work? And we have looked for the science and the process and the steps. Because if you've ever read the book Outliers, anybody ever read that book? Malcolm Gladwell. It's a really frustrating book. It explained, well, Bill Gates became Bill Gates because when he happened to be at Stanford, there was this glut of computer time. And he just happened to be at the right place at the right time. That's sort of the theme behind Outliers. I have daughters. I am not going to tell my daughter, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bet our life on the odds of you maybe being in the right place at the right time. Does that make sense? So there is a science to creation. And what we're going to do tonight in the next 45 minutes is, we said in our title, so you guys out there in Facebook land, and there's a ton of you guys making comments, and I can't read them all because my eyes are like 50.
Someone's baking their Christmas cookies while she listens.
Baking Christmas cookies, hanging with us. Heather, nice. We're going to be sharing with you guys a 6-step process, 6 simple steps to an epic 2017. I guarantee you, here's the guarantee, they will resonate with you. They will make sense to you. You will say, God, I wish I would have learned these 50 years ago if you are over 50. The challenge that we're going to lay before you guys, and if you have notes, you might want to write this down. So let's talk about how many times we've been lied to. Let's talk about negative programming, okay? So here's the first game we're playing. I'm going to start a sentence, and you guys are going to finish it for us really loud, okay? So get ready. Knowledge is power. One more time. Knowledge is power. It's the biggest crap of shit on the history of the planet. Listen to me. I go lecture to a freshman class in high school.
Knowledge is important.
Listen, I got 35 kids in front of me. Close your eyes, kids. Freshmen in high school. How many of you know at least one person in your class that smokes? Guess what happens? 35 hands go up. Here's question number 2. How many of you know that dying from lung cancer and emphysema is one of literally the suckiest ways to leave this planet? Now I got the kids looking like they're being held up. They know. Do you guys understand? Knowledge is not power until it's cellularized. Write that down. Knowledge is not powerful until it has to become you.
What?
Oh, no, you put your hand on. I thought you had a cue or a signal or something.
I was saying hi.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. That was one of our cues. Thank you. Okay, we're having fun, right? We're going to have fun tonight. So we're going to gift you guys with 50 years worth of knowledge. You're going to nod your head and you're going to go, that's awesome. This is so cool. Unless you make a commitment to yourself to train in it, to master it, to take ownership of it, it's no different than having you memorize the ingredients to a box of Fruit Loops.
So our society has a very strong emphasis on the left brain, and that's where you starts with our public school education or actually any education. It's learning. It's learning and accumulating information in your left brain. Now, artists, more creative people are more developed in their right brain, but ideally we're all accessing both sides of our brain, and not only both sides of our brain, but our bodies have wisdom, and we have, we have a spiritual service side to us, and we have an emotional, we have a heart, there are other aspects besides left brain learning. So that's what we're talking about. Knowledge isn't power when it's just knowledge. The self-help book section in any bookstore is filled with knowledge. Now, they'll all have really great things to say in different ways and in different situations, but we're knowledge seekers, and yet
collectors.
A lot of times collectors, and so a lot of times we don't make that step from what we know. And I see it a lot. I work with a lot of people who have certain health-related behaviors that are hurting them. They know what to do or what not to do, but the translation into that day-to-day living is not there. So what we really, in our training and in this process, it's about integration. It's about all of who you are. It's about connecting with not only that left brain, which is definitely part of it and is important, but it's not the sole part. It's connecting with that greater in whatever your religious, spiritual background it is, connecting with that kind of bigger why of why you're here and that creative potential. It's about connecting with your body. I was disconnected from my body for a while, and I think probably I didn't want to listen to what my body was telling me, that it was suffering in the life I was in. And our body holds incredible wisdom for us, and we completely discount our bodies. How many people are walking around complaining about their bodies, and yet there's wisdom in that. What can I learn? What do you need? What is it? And then our hearts. That's it's not all here. It's not all just knowledge. What really matters to you? What are you willing to fight for? what are the values and who are the people and what do you really want? If you knew that you were going to have a shorter life than than expected, what would you do differently? And then there's that huge component of what is that gift that each one of you has that you're meant to share in the world? And you're meant to connect with people, not to sacrifice yourself to do something for someone else, but to show up in all of who you are and the honoring of who you are and gifting. It could be a smile to someone on the street that you're just walking by, and you don't know, that might really impact their life. They might have had a really bad day, and that smile, some human being is connecting with me. And so you'll notice I kind of went through, we're going to go through this process, and I just, in a different language, because Bill and I do come from different backgrounds, I, in a different language, just kind of walked you through all those different areas that we're going to be touching on, because they all matter, and they need to be integrated. I think for a long time, my left brain was completely disconnected from my heart, and completely disconnected from my body, and from pretty much from everything. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, and it wasn't me. So as we go through this process, we invite you guys to just check in. So you're going to be checking in, and we're firm believers. We're not telling you how to do anything. We're offering something. And so for you to check in and see what resonates with you, kind of notice ooh, you know what? I think I'm really good in that area. Or, wow, that's an area I hadn't even thought about that. So it's an invitation to do a little inventory as we're going through this for each of you. And, you take notes if you want to for something, but there's no test at the end.
Not tonight. So
we do have a test for one of our graduates, though. It's more like a Q&A.
Yeah. We are going to do that. So here's the first challenge. Are you guys willing to accept the fact that you are powerful?
Yes.
Challenge number 1. Now so here's all nodding your head. Are you willing to accept the fact that you are as powerful as Elon Musk? Are you willing to accept the fact that you are as powerful as Mother Teresa?
Amen.
Or Martin Luther King? I'm getting some. So here's what's really cool. When I ask the first question, yes! Yes, I am powerful. I don't know if I'm as powerful as Elon Musk. The fact of the matter is, all of us have access to the same power. What we've discerned is there are 3 types. The training that you are now engaged in is Mindful Creators. We're introducing you to our Mindful Creators course. There are 3 types of creators, all of the equal power. Type number 1, which makes up about 85 to 90% of the population, we call them accidental creators. Unbelievably powerful people, but their lives are in absolute chaos. Because their thoughts and their words and their actions are totally out of alignment with who they are. Remember how she said, well, my brain was over here and my heart was over here, and it is impossible for you to be in your power when you are out of integrity. So when you look at the world and when you see people whose bodies or relationships or businesses are suffering, and this is a hard thing for a lot of people to hear, are you willing to accept how much responsibility are you willing to accept for that creation? So we're going to play with that idea tonight.
So I just want to say one thing. So there is suffering that there are things that are out of our control, clearly, and there is suffering that happens that's out of our control. So what we're talking about is the suffering that we impose on ourselves, whatever the situation is. So it's that extra, being harsh on ourselves or hard on ourselves about this, that, or the other thing that we didn't do or we didn't do well enough, or that type of thing is what we're talking about. Because we can't control there are certain things that are outside of our control. So the lesson in that is acceptance and looking for what we can learn and what we can, what we can learn and how we might grow from that experience. The suffering that we're talking about is that suffering that we inflict on ourselves and on the people around us.
Well, and it's almost not fair to say we inflict it on ourselves, because the fact of the matter is, and here's a truth bomb for you guys, where you are right now in your life isn't your fault. You were given programs, literally your brain was becoming hardwired from the day that you were born. Your parents, everything that they said to you over and over and over became a hardwired belief system. I'm willing to bet not everyone in this room had perfect parents. Some people had perfect parents, but then you guys think about this. You went into a school system, and you received hard wiring. And then you had all of the generation of where you grew up. So where you are isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. So I want that one to land for you guys. Where you are today isn't your
Well, it's
fault.
your responsibility going forward.
From this point forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the goal, here's our plan. So we have the accidental creators. Then the second group of the population are what we call partial creators. Partial creators fascinate me. These are men and women who have learned the process of scientific creation, but they don't integrate it. So have you ever met someone that had a perfect body, but they were an asshole? We've done it. Have you ever met someone that was obese to the point where they couldn't enjoy the planet, but they were the most kind souls in the world? Or someone that had the capacity to make $100 million but didn't know how to be a parent? This is someone who is a partial creator. They're using the science of creation in some avenue of their life, but it isn't integrated. So we are not here to talk about accidental creation. We're not here to talk about partial creation. We are here to share with you the insights we have learned over 30 years of research, the 3% Club. These are mindful creators. These are men and women who apply this process to their health, to their personal development, to their relationships, to their careers. So there's a Japanese word, tatsujin. A tatsujin is a fully realized person. If you could imagine yourself, and as we go deeper into the training, we do exercises where you get to meet you. It's a wild concept. Can you meet
You're talking
you?
about inner mindful.
Yeah. In the mindful creators, can you imagine meeting you if you actually had been raised in a perfect environment by perfect parents, and you were taught to have the body of a gymnast and the brilliance of a philosopher and a scientist, and you knew how to love like the Dalai Lama? Could you imagine how awesome that person would be? Like, just for a second, could you imagine meeting your fully realized self? Because what we're going to do is we're going to show you how creation works, and then if you want to, we're going to take you on an adventure where every single day you get a little bit closer and a little bit closer to that person. And it is so much fun because that person is awesome.
Well, and that person is you. That's who. It's a reconnection with you. It's not some creation of something that you think it should look like, or that someone else thinks it should look like. It's just reconnecting with you. You know, who you are and how you came into this world. And we're always going to have an overlay of our experiences, and some of it is really fantastic to draw from. And then there are certain things that served us really well when we were children, you know, and then now they don't. And so being able to shift those patterns as you move into the next phase in your life, just knowing that you have the capacity to make that shift is very empowering. It moves you away from that sense of this, you know, that victim place of, and even the body changes, you know, it's like, it keeps happening, or I can't believe this happened, or why did it happen to me? You know, that is a very disempowering
I don't
place.
like that, you.
Like,
I mean,
and you know, the other part is, you know, yeah, sometimes life sucks, and what am I going to do about it? And how can I have the most love and the most joy and the most fun and the most adventure and the most play in the process of it?
all right, that's the setup.
So we
got 30 minutes to give you guys the 6 steps. Are you ready?
And we recognize it's going to be a little bit, it's okay if it might feel a little bit quick, but you'll get enough of the flavor because this is already happening. It's not like it's some new thing. It's already happening in all of our lives. It's just part of life. So you'll recognize some of it. Some of it will feel very familiar. Some of it might not feel familiar. And clearly, we're giving you a little tiny piece of what we do in our work, in our Mindful Creators course, which of course we would love all of you to be a part of. We love it, and we love the community so much. But this is to give you a flavor for what that is. And so again, don't feel like you have to. Everything doesn't have to make total sense right now. There are people who are doing the course with us for the fifth time. So, and each time, and we do it all the time. So you get to go layers and layers and layers. It's kind of a fun adventure.
And to take pressure off of yourselves, His Holiness the Dalai Lama meditates 5 hours a day. So His Holiness is still working on getting there. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of pressure off of you guys. It's not like, and here's what's really fun. Success is not experienced in an outcome. It's the journey. It's when you remember that divine spark, that being in you, and when you start reconnecting that relationship, when you start falling in love with yourself over again, when you start listening to those dreams, that's when the body bumps start to happen. That's when the joy and that's when the shift happens. So and we're going to jump into these 6 steps. That was the promise. How important is truth? Truth is everything. Truth is everything. So we're not here to tell you the truth, because I get really nervous when people say that. I'm going to tell you the truth. We are going to give you guys opportunities to experience the truth. And so we spent decades studying, traveling. I traveled all over the world. She traveled the world. Walked on hot coals with Tony Robbins. Was in Japan with Bukas Mikio Priest. Did you lose this? Let me get this for you.
That's okay.
Read.
Truly is enjoying her journey.
Hi, Truey. We love Truey. Truey's been with us for about 5 weeks. An awesome mindful creator. In martial arts, I have 11 degrees of black belt. Do you know that 90% of what I taught would get you killed in a fight? Have you guys ever seen any of this stuff? Have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen a Navy SEAL do that? Can you imagine if I had SEALs standing in front of me? I said, okay, guys, let's get in a horse stance. And for the next 45 minutes, we're going to do that because it's going to help you survive in Afghanistan. They'd walk out of the room. They would leave instantaneously. So where does truth exist? And we went on this quest and this search. And if you read a book and it resonates with you, you'll find glimpses of it. And it took the suicide of a friend of mine that drove me out into Yosemite before I had my great epiphany. You know where truth exists? Nature. Somebody said, oh yeah. Nature is incapable of telling a lie. Nature has no agenda. So when you understand natural law, when you understand how creation exists in nature, and when you remember that we are from nature, okay? Here's a truth bomb for you guys. I've done a lot of solo backpacking, and people are like, aren't you afraid to go out there in the wild? No, I'm afraid of any highway where there's wine tasting after about 8 o'clock at night, okay? This is the wild. Okay, nature is my home. Do you guys follow me? But we have forgotten. So the process that we're teaching, this is an elemental compass, and it's there in front of you guys. Yeah. Right there, it says True North Compass on the top of it.
The smaller circle.
If you go and you Google the pre-Socratic Socrates.
This lighting, you might not be able to read some. Some of us may not be able to read some.
There were 5 elements that were used all throughout history to describe the planet. And you guys know these. There's earth and water and fire and wind, and then there's the void. And void is my favorite.
That's your favorite?
Oh, they're all my favorites, but I like to say
always said that.
we're in the void right now. Void, if you think of void today, we think of empty space, and that's a misunderstanding. Ether is another way to describe the void. Today we would call it the quantum field. We have a student who's a physicist, graduated from MIT in 3 years. And we said, what percentage of the universe is physical matter? He said, oh, it's easy, 0.000001%. That's what we think is reality.
That's what we focus on almost all the time.
The void is the 99.9999999% of possibility, of potential, of ether. It's where all creation comes from.
So I guess I want to say that we're going to be, as you're looking at that, we're going to be moving through the process that we teach, and we're starting in the center, and that's the void. And so just to add to what Bill just said, it's that place that honestly I disconnected from for 20 plus years. It's that place of creativity and endless possibility and what might be possible, because we get so focused on what's happening today and the problem in front of us that we often forget to spend a little bit of time in that void space. That's that creative. It's fun for some people. It's a little bit scary if you've been out of it for a while, but it's every step, every element is important. We talk about integration. So without starting there, the rest of these steps, you can just forget about it, because that's that place where you get to start designing what might be possible. What's the vision? You know, if there's something that you want a little bit different, rather than focusing on what you don't like in front of you, what would you want? You know, what would turn you on? What would you like? What would you like a year from now? So sometimes it's a little hard to move into that, you know, and in our trainings, you know, in the whole community, there'll be someone who has a little bit of difficulty with this element, and this one feels really good. So this is one of those that, you know, you don't want to stay in the void. The void is kind of staying in that dreamy land, and nothing really, you know, nothing really happens, nothing really changes. You can't stay there, but it's a great place to go to check in with what really matters.
So if you are a realist, you're going to hate this training. In fact, if you're a realist, you should probably just leave right now. Because you believe that what you are experiencing is reality. No, what you are experiencing is 0.00001% of all that is. And I can guarantee you that Bill Gates lives in a very, very different reality. And Sir Richard Branson, and Elon Musk, and all the other creative people. Think about this right now. Hillary is in Texas hanging out with us. Hillary is one of Laura's Beachbody people. Woo, go Team Laura. We've got Alexei in Russia, who is hanging out with us right now. It's unbelievable. Somebody figured out how to take pictures of us and send them up into space and then make them instantly appear in someone else's little device. Do you think that came from reality? Guys, creation.
And you know someone said,
yeah, you can, that'll never, you can, we'll never fly. That'll never get off the ground. So guys, the void, step number one in this process begins in the void. All creation begins in the void.
imagine.
And the first step number one is imagine. Do you have the capacity to rise above the life you are living and see something magic? Can you see yourself a year from now in the best physical shape of your life? Can you see yourself waking up with someone that you love and that loves and supports and thrills you? Can you see yourself having a career in a business that you actually, do you know that 80% of Americans don't love their work? That statistic is killing me. 80% of you are spending the vast majority of your time in something you hate.
Imagine waking up
yeah.
and being able to share your gifts and serve in a way that fuels and energizes you.
She's got body bumps. She's like,
Isn't that great? I love that.
That's it. And so, guys, here's what's really cool. When you go in the void, we are trying to get you turned on. Literally, biochemically. Think of creation. Anybody got babies out there? Literally, we got some babies out there. In order to bring a life into the planet, somebody had to be really turned on. I swear to God, like literally, like turned on to the point of climax. Yes, I'm saying that on. Yes. I'm in a castle. But guys, do you understand that Elon Musk is taking us to Mars? And he is so turned on by that idea, he can't sleep at night. So if you imagine, I have a friend that did a goal-setting workshop. And she did all these goals. And she said, as I was writing these goals, I knew they weren't going to happen.
How many people?
Anybody ever done that before?
New Year's resolutions. How about that? Most people know as they're writing them down, it's not going to happen.
If, guys, listen to me very carefully. If you are not literally turned on by the idea of the life that you are creating, you will never be a mindful creator.
Well, it means you're living someone else's life. You've somehow gotten in there that you should have to, you know, whatever the story is.
The 80% of Americans that don't love their work, you know what you're doing every day? You're going to work and you're creating someone else's dream for them. And hey, kudos for that. I mean, you know, you're being nice people. I just think maybe your dream is worth a little bit of an investment in your time and energy. And so we go into the void. Step one is in the void. And this is a practice, and you have to train in this. And the first time you guys play tennis, how are you going to be at it? Sucky. The first time you go into the void and imagine, you're going to be like, what? But you get better, and you get better, and you get better at imagining. So in this, the practice that we teach is a forward leap of 1 year. We have a process. And what you do is you go through this process, an unknown process, and you leap a year to the future. Why at a year? I've seen people lose 100 pounds of weight in 1 year. I've seen people find the loves of their life in 1 year. I've seen companies go from bankrupt to making a ton of money in 1 year. Are you guys following me? So that year frees you up enough to get out of what's happening in front of you, because for some of you, what's happening in front of you sucks. and you see it and you connect to that idea that electrifies you, lights you up and turns you on. So that's step number one.
And it sounds easy, but it's not always easy. I mean, we've had clients who are like, I can't, this is too stressful, or this is too difficult right now, I can't go there. And so, there's a timing component, but just recognize that that's the place you want to start. You want to start with that step, you want to imagine. And you also notice as we go through these elements that there's an energy behind each one. And you'll feel it if you kind of tune into your body, just kind of open your body up to feel it. The void is, my body's kind of moving, it's free, it's like, oh, it's expansive.
Limitless.
It's that, what's out there in the beautiful sky. It's, you can't quite see it, but you almost do. You feel it. That's that void energy. And then as we move into the next element and the next step, we're moving into...
Wait. Because
What?
there's a principle.
Oh, you want to go with the principle?
I have to go with the
I thought we were gonna do that.
principle.
I thought we were going to do that afterwards.
So there's an element.
Then we better, then we
There's
better
we're
get
gonna go
going.
fast. I'm on.
We better get going.
So guys, here's the principle. I am inherently worthy. Thank you. I am inherent. Now, if you can hear how I'm saying that, I am inherently worthy. We've done trainings and people have choked on those words.
Can't say it out
People
loud.
have cried saying those words. And the fact of the matter is, until you are trained to remember, because when you were 4 years old, you knew it. You came when we had babies. Guess what? Those little things that just make messes, we would do anything for. And they weren't beautiful, and they weren't supermodels, and they hadn't graduated from Harvard. So I am inherently worthy is the first principle that we train our team members to embrace, because everything else comes out of that. Does that make sense? Your life isn't going to grow bigger than your capacity to own that. Now should we go?
now I
Yeah,
get to
now
go?
go. Okay.
So we're going to have to go a little faster.
We're going to go fast. We're going to pick it up now, people.
I know you like to talk, but we gotta give them the whole process. I can't stop.
All right.
So
And the castle does have a closing time.
what time?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you're in that void energy, and you're in that creative, expansive space, and it feels really good. Some people love to stay there; they don't want to go any further. Some people want to get out of there as fast as they can. But you start there, you imagine, and you move into the next element, which is the earth element. And as you move into that element, there's a shift. The earth. Well, what are the things you think of when you think of earth? Solid.
Push your feet into the foundation. We're in a castle right now. This is an excellent embodiment of earth energy.
Solid. You
Solid,
can count on it. You
heavy,
can see it. You can feel it.
integrity, right? The earth energy. So the void is all amorphous. In the earth element, step 2 is you declare. Do you know how to make a declarative statement? 90% of the executives we train don't. 90% of the leaders whose job it is to set the course for the company, they like to try, and they like to hope, and they wish, and they just kind of think, well, maybe this year we're going to do this. And a declarative statement is literally set in stone. The Declaration of Independence. Take a moment and think about that document. These brilliant humans had a dream. Because see, before that, you were born into the station and you were going to stay there. And a couple lucky bastards actually had castles, and 99% of the population did not have castles. And you would stay there forever. So these men said, what if we could create a country where you could actually rise above your station? And that dream lit them up so much. Think about this. They signed that. Who are we taking on to fight? When they signed that, was it some little kid next door? It was the British Imperial Army. We, this little bunch of farmers in Colonias, we took on the biggest army in the world. And what would have happened to the men if we lost? Every one of them would have been executed. Do you guys understand the weight of what we're talking about? New Year's resolutions. I can't stand New Year's resolutions. This year I'm going to really try to get in shape. And, this year, honey, we're gonna go on date nights. And we're just,
I'm gonna feel better.
This year.
We're gonna have more fun.
Can you guys hear where my energy is? I'm not committed. It's not a declaration. So don't go to the gym in January. You know why? Because all the New Year's resolutioners are there. Go in March, because they'll all be gone. Because they don't know how to declare. They don't know how to speak and set an intention in earth energy.
So you can already, just starting today, look at some, and especially you who are parents or in your, anywhere in your life, look at the clarity of your language and look at, does the person I'm speaking to know what I'm saying? Does my child know what I mean when I say this? This needs to happen, not, oh, I really, and I'm guilty of this too. I really love for you to take out the trash. Well, that's stupid. You think he's gonna, he's not gonna take the trash
I was really
out,
hoping you would maybe clean your room.
Sure would be nice. So, you take the trash out. That needs to happen today. It needs to happen by 4 o'clock. See, everyone who hears that, myself and that child, knows exactly what I'm talking about. And there's something also about earth, that earth energy that you as a receiver, whether it be at work or whether it be in a relation, you can ask for clarity if something's unclear. And I know a lot of the people in our trainings are working on that with holidays coming up, working on that with families. Well, can I get a little bit more clarity about what are we doing? What's actually happening in this event? Are we going to be doing X, Y, Z, or is it going to happen like this? So that so you can do this as a receiver of the information, but in that step, as you go from imagining something, so let's say you're imagining some really beautiful family get-together for the holidays, I wouldn't leave it up to chance. I would not leave it up to chance.
Because we've done that before. How's that work out for us?
A lot of other things going on, and you can't control everything, but you can be really clear. Look, I'm going to show up, and I'm going to be able to be there for 2 hours, and I would really love for, I would really love for a meal and a fun interaction. So really getting clear. Now this takes responsibility back to you being clear about what you want. Look at your language when you ask for something. Look at your language when you declare to yourself what you want. It's not just to other people, it's also to yourself. So that you know when you've hit that mark, so that you know what you're going for. And so instead of, like I was talking about, instead of saying, well, I want to get healthier next year, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? Does that mean that each meal you're going to ask if this nurtures my body, feeds my soul, however you want to do it? Or does it mean that you're going to actually change specifically what the caloric intake is? It's different for every person. That's why it's why diets don't work. It's why, exercise programs don't work, because you need to be connected to it. So what does it mean for you? What's important to you? And you want to go into the...
So step 2 is you create a blueprint. We literally guide you through a process where you create a body blueprint. And I want to be healthy is not a blueprint. I weigh 165 pounds. I'm 9% body fat. I can bench press 225 pounds. I can swim a mile in 25 minutes. That's a blueprint. See, we can train to create a schematic. You know what we love about blueprints? The home, pay attention. When you hand a blueprint to a builder, the home exists energetically. The home exists energetically. Do you have a blueprint for that life that turns you on? Because if not, how do you build it? How do you create it? How do you spec it out? So, and the principles, number 1 is I am inherently worthy. Number 2, I am perfectly unique. That's fact, folks. It's right here. Your DNA has never existed before in the history of mankind. Isn't that awesome? So, and how many of us are trying to
do things like other people to fit in, or to be liked, to be accepted, to be loved? You're unique. You have a unique set of gifts to share with the world. So that's the principle with that, and really being able to own that uniqueness of who you are is important, because you know what, your blueprint, whatever, and you can go into one small area of your life, and you can go into your entire life, and that's what's so great about this training is it's really you get to choose where you're going to put the focus, but that's not going to look like anyone else's.
Which is so much fun about our job, because our clients become revealed in front of us. If you try to copy another person, you immediately disempower yourself. It's impossible for you to be in your power when you're attempting to replicate a DNA that doesn't exist in you. Do you guys follow this? So that's step 2. Number 1 is I am inherently worthy. In the void, right? We imagine. The next step, in the earth element, we declare I am perfectly unique. And we're going to challenge you guys. We have a process where we build a blueprint for your body, for your personal development, for your relationship. You built it. Thank you.
They build the blueprint.
I'm working on my own blueprint.
So feel the shift in energy. That's earth energy. It's really solid. It's very clear. The more clear you can be, the easier it is going to be for you and for anyone who you're asking for support as well. And then you move from that really solid earth energy into water energy. And as you make this shift, what's really important is back to the integrated aspect. You have to be connected with the vision that you're going. You have to have clarity about what that looks like for you. And then as you move into water, and that element is, what are some of the things that you think when you think of water?
It's very different than earth. It's cold, it's clear, it's cleansing, it's detached. Your left brain
That's that left brain part we were
is
talking about.
the scientific. She's a doctor. When a doctor goes into a room, their job is to be detached, to be able to look and observe. Do you guys understand that? So the water process, here's what's really cool. You guys have done the first 2 steps. You've imagined this life that lights you up and turns you on. You've built a blueprint for it. And that's where a whole lot of people stop. You know those vision boards? That's it. Those are the first 2 steps. What do I want? Ooh, and then they put the vision boards in their room and they get a really nice pillow and some candles.
Which is great. It's great, but it can't. But we don't want to stop there. Why are you making that face?
Because it's like this is my background as a close quarter combat instructor. Navy SEALs. You know why they're the best warriors in the world? They train harder than anyone in the world. If you have deluded yourself into believing that you can have a bigger life without becoming a bigger person, that's outside of natural law.
By just wishing it.
Yeah.
Or looking at photos of it.
No. You literally, what's so cool is, if I want to climb Mount Everest, not so much, but some people do, and it's amazing who have done it. An 80-year-old, so don't tell me you're too old. An 80-year-old summited Mount Everest, a blind person summited, a double amputee summited Mount Everest. So I don't want to talk about why you can't do stuff, but you know what? If you right now got up and tried to climb Mount Everest, you would die. 100% guaranteed. Do you guys understand that? You have got to...
No matter how many photos of you on
Totally!
the top.
You see yourself on the top. I'm on the top of Everest. You will
see it.
die.
I declared it. Why
So,
is it happening?
in the water element, you have to train. This is where we lose a lot of people. Oh, you mean you don't have the pill? No. You gotta train. You gotta train. You what?
No Kool-Aid.
Oh, no Kool-Aid. Yeah. So here's the Kool-Aid you're not supposed to drink tonight. We are not going to do this for you. We are guides, we are facilitators, and we are trainers. And we will set things up for you. But there's a word, one of my favorite, ATR. It's not a word, it's an acronym. Your ATR is your ability to respond. So you've built this big, beautiful dream. Do you have the ATR to manifest it? Physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. Are you the person? And here's what's so much fun. One of our clients is the physicist. He's setting his company up to sell for $1 billion, which would be really cool. Right now, they're only worth about $10 million. So he's the CEO. What we've said to him over and over again is, you will never sell this company for $1 billion until you become the $1 billion CEO. And you will become the $1 billion CEO long before anyone ever writes you a check. Do you guys understand? It's not that I get the $1 billion and then I become. No. You become the man or woman with the strengths and competencies to create the dream. Now here's the good news. It's just training. Have you ever seen those people that do flips on?
It's just training, but it's training that is very
mission specific
to what you want. So this is where you get to really manage your resources. For those of you who feel like you don't have enough time in the day, there are a lot of things that we're doing that are not connected with what really matters and where we want to go. And so this is that place where, see, if you're in the earth, when you make that declaration, you have your blueprint of where you're going, then you get to check in. Okay, so where am I really strong, and where do I need to do some training to close that gap? Then you have clarity about what training is necessary for you. And it might not look like, your friends or this other person, that's where you really have to have it connected with your blueprint. And so what happens is, this is where you learn to manage your resources and have everything that you're doing be directly related to where you're going, so that you're not doing a lot of busy work or learning or stacking books up on your bedside table that have nothing to do with what really matters.
You ever been sent to a training by a company and you sat there and gone, this is the biggest waste of my oxygen? Because it literally has nothing to do with what, okay, see, that bleeds us.
We have a few kids in high school that are feeling that way
Right,
too. Yeah.
right. So you're training. So step 3, number 1, we imagine, we declare, we train. Right? We train in the water. Now we're moving along. Now what's the principle? Or the principle
What's
is,
the principle?
I am continuously growing.
That's
Isn't
that
that-
training.
isn't
That's
that
that
awesome?
training component.
I am. There are my role models. A lot of my role models are literally men and women in their 80s, because they are so turned on by life. They wake up, and you know why they're turned on by life? They are still growing. They are still learning. They are still engaging. And I've met 30-year-olds who think they got it all figured out, and they are dead.
Oh, we had a.
Wait till we're 80 and
No, that's
No,
the
no,
whole
no, no, no,
point.
no, no.
Now, start now. Some people naturally do it, but no, start now. I had this woman who was 104 in the hospital, and thankfully she recovered really well from. She had never been in a hospital, had never had an illness. I don't know how she did it, but anyway, I asked her a couple of questions. I said, "Would you mind me sharing this with people?" So I'm not
Breaking confidentiality.
So would you mind me sharing this with people? I really want to know. Like, is there anything that you regret? And what would you want to share with people? And she said, well, what I want to share is have fun living. So I'm like, she's so awesome. She was in the hospital. She was 104, and she had more energy than a lot of people who are, in their 30s and their 40s. And then I asked her, I said, is there anything that you would regret if you were to die? Because at the time we didn't know whether or not she was going to recover well enough to go home to live independently as she had been. She said, I guess the only thing would be if I wouldn't be able to finish my last 3 paintings. I'm like, wow.
Yikes.
That's so awesome. She's still growing. She's still learning. She's like, I just figured out this new way to do this thing and this painting. And she was just growing, such a great inspiration for someone who really is living that principle.
living the dream.
So, okay, so we've got about
We
5
can do it. We can
minutes
do it. We can do it. So now let's see, what have we done? We've imagined, we've declared, we've trained. Now we move into the fire element. I like you. Love. What is fire? Fire is that passion. Fire is energy. Fire is engagement. Here's the step. You engage. You are all in.
It's the why, when there are things that you're doing, and we have clients sometimes saying, well, there are things that I'm doing that I don't just love all the time, but I feel like it's part of the process to get to my vision, to my blueprint. Yes, absolutely. So what you do in those instances when there are things that maybe there's training you need to do, or maybe there's some action step that you need to take, you are connecting back in with what really matters. It's the why. I'm doing this because this is where I'm going, and that turns me on.
You guys are betting your life on every single thing you do. Every single thing you do, you are spending heartbeats that you will never get back. And when I see someone half-ass their life...
I am on fire, someone said.
Truly! Of course it ain't truly. Guys, it pisses me off when I see someone half-assing their life. And when we get hired by corporations, the vast majority of the team members are not showing up all in. Do you guys understand that? They're not Navy SEALs. They're not all in. Now, could you imagine having a partner, a client, a customer, a husband, a wife that was all in? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, here's something I can guarantee you. No one will be more in your life than you are. If you are not all in your life and you think you're going to get a partner or a lover that's all in for you, that is an energetic impossibility. Do you guys follow me?
So back, it starts with you. And the principle in this element, in this step is I am motivated from love, not for love, not for some result,
shift.
not for some thing that you're expecting someone else to do or say if you do X, Y, Z. It's really truly coming from a place in your heart. You're motivated from love. You're doing it because you can't not do it. It's just what turns you on.
And are you starting to see the flow? You imagine the life that lights you up. You make a declaration. This is what it's going to look like. You train. I don't want you to be all in for life if you're not prepared. That's called stupid. We give our kids self-esteem without competencies. That's stupid. Okay? Be engaged because you have the training. Now, here we go to step number 5. The next element is?
Well, we go into the wind element. So think of wind. It's always moving. There are shifts and changes. Wind doesn't stop when it comes up against a boulder or a tree and go, that's not the way it's supposed to look like, or that's not in the plan. It's moving. It's always moving, sometimes forcefully, and sometimes there's just a gentle breeze, but there's always a shift and a move. And so this is an area where two things can happen. One is it's the majority of our lives. It's where we're out there and we're living. And so what can sometimes happen in this area where we can kind of be stuck is the people who just stay busy, 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 right? You're doing, reacting, and you're disconnected from the rest of this process. You're disconnected from the other elements. That's exhausting, and honestly, I've seen people who make themselves physically ill from this. So it is a life or death decision. You know, there was a nurse at a hospital who was head nurse up and, you know, and she just pushed doing, retired. The next day, she died. You know, it was like there was no retirement, because she was kind of stuck in that energy. The other potential problem with sticky area, not problem, with wind is sometimes people will stay in the void, earth, water, fire, and they're all excited, but they're not going to go into that wind energy because I got to get it just perfect. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go do it.
Perfectionism will kill you.
I'm going to stay back. I'm going to work on the plan a little bit more. You know what? The reason why this is a flow is because you got to go out there and do it. Because when you go out there and do it, you get information back. It's important. It's never going to look exactly like your blueprint. Guarantee you that. Even though we say have a clear blueprint, it's never going to look exactly like that because you are growing and you're expanding as you go. But remembering that the wind energy is about movement. Let's say you set up that, you know, this day you're going to do X, Y, Z in this order, and then, you know what, I don't know, there's an accident, you're stuck on the freeway for 4 hours, everything gets blown out. You have a choice. You know, you have a choice how you respond to that. So the next time you're in something like that, or something happens with a child and it requires more time, or, you know, something happens at work, whatever it is, just think of wind. What would wind do? You know, just that one little thing. You can shift a little bit in your day.
And one last point on wind is you have to be fearless. The mistakes, mistakes are where the learning happens. You can't create a life bigger than the life that you're in without the courage to make mistakes. That's where the growth, that's where the expansion, from the Moon Project to everything else.
And the cool thing about that is as you do this process and that fire where you're engaging, that courage comes from that French word courage. If it's really coming from your heart, it really matters. That's where you get the courage to go out there and do. And know, you know it's not going to be perfect. Life's not perfect, but you're going to go out there and you're going to share and you're going to live and you're going to find out, you know, what it feels like, what it looks like, and maybe what you want to do differently. Mary. How did you know that?
Mary, what is principle number 5? Because that's what we did last week.
The gift.
I am a gift. Say that for us.
I am a gift.
I just got body bumps. I am a gift. And she went to her boss and said, you know what, I haven't been showing up quite as much as I can. I want to give more. You think that's going to change the reality of Mary's experience? When you guys remember that you are a gift, you stop being small. You stop hiding. You stop apologizing. You stop and you go out.
Stop trying to be like someone else.
And you go out and you do it. And that's where doing isn't living unless you're sharing your gift. And when you're sharing your gift, even if you're imperfect, we made a few mistakes tonight. We were supposed to be done with this segment 4 minutes ago, and we're not. And you know what?
We're going to be 2 minutes.
Oh, look at you. She's crying. I love that.
That's the thing that's so cool, is that it's a reconnection. You know, it's a reconnection with you. It's not someone else. It's not someone else telling you how you should do something, or you checking off, this is what I'm supposed to do, I did it well. It's a reconnection. And you know what? A lot of us, we've been disconnected for a long time. And so there are tears, and they're usually really good tears.
It feels good to remember.
Yeah.
Everything that we're talking, it feels really good to remember. So that takes us to step number 6, because we said there would be 6 steps.
But you drop back into the void. So remember the void. You're out there, you're doing, and you know what? You can get stuck out there doing.
So you stop.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. I even talk to my ICU physicians. even with the emergencies, you need to pause. It could be 5 seconds, one breath. Let that go, what was in the room. Be here present now. If you just do that, if you do that one thing, you're going to shift things. You're going to shift things with your kids, with your coworkers, with your loved ones. You know, and I say that with a lot of these. So there's a lot of different opportunities. You can find the one that you want to.
You can always be training.
You can always be training. But you do need to come out of that wind energy and drop back into the void of, okay, this is the vision of where I'm going. What, and you do a review. The step is review. You go over what's working really well, what's turning me on, what makes me cry out of relief and excitement and connection, what's really working, where have I seen a shift that I want more of? And then you shift into water energy. You detach a little bit and you go, okay, so what's not working? Let me just be a scientist about that. I'm not gonna beat myself up. I'm not gonna
No shame, no guilt. No, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, what didn't work? What isn't working? Okay, that's not working. I'm going to shift and change that. I need a little bit more training in this area. I'm going to practice this with my loved one. I'm going to do this at work. You know, this is where you get to fine tune it. And so for the perfectionists out there, this is a really great thing to remember when you're kind of hesitating going out and doing and taking that action, is to remind yourself, you know what? It may not look exactly the way that I intended it, but I'm going to get a lot of information. I'm going to be able to fine tune it. And you're also in the process, you're expanding, and so your vision is going to expand.
So guys, the value, that's so good, is not in what is working. What's working feels really good, right? That's where we get our attaboys. The value is in what isn't working in your life.
What didn't feel good in that interaction?
When
What did I not like?
when Elon blew up Mark Zuckerberg's multi-million-dollar satellite, do you guys remember that? That was not part of the plan. But they got some really valuable data that's going to help them get to Mars. Do you guys understand? The mission is going to Mars. This is one step along the way. So they had to stop, go back in the void, and do that win review. What's working? What isn't? What needs to change? Does anybody in this room have one or two things in your life that need to change? Yeah, but guess what? It doesn't need to change unless it's attached to the dream. Don't just change it so you feel like you're doing more. Everything begins in the void. Everything ends in the void. Everything begins with the dream. So super quick review. We imagine the yummiest, most beautiful life you can possibly imagine. Then we declare it. We build a blueprint. Then we train our asses off. We become the men or women capable of the dream. Every day we wake up and we are all in. Don't you dare half-ass your life. You are all in. Then you go out into the world and you live and you love and you do the best that you possibly can. And this is where most people stop. This idea is literally worth $1 million for you business people. You stop and you look at the results. Where did we knock it out of the park? Because it feels good to know that we did something really great. Where did we not get the results we wanted? What isn't working the way we wanted? So then we set a new course, so we wake up tomorrow and we begin the process all over again. And guys, do you know where the joy is? The joy is the process.
It's the adventure.
Watching, and we're going to shift because we've done it. Yeah, now I'm going to tell us one thing. Look at her. She put her hand on my thigh, so I'm getting a little scared because she's a powerful person. If you watched the SpaceX engineers when they successfully landed that rocket vertically, it had never been done before. They were screaming and they were cheering. They hadn't gotten to Mars. It's the journey. It's the process. It's success. And I'm going to die somewhere in this compass. I'm going to be doing one of these steps. But as long as I'm in flow and as long as I'm growing, as long as I'm returning, I'm in joy. Does that make sense to you guys? This makes sense, right? Yes. Okay, so we're going to do something really fun that we've never, ever done before.
And when are we going to, if anyone has questions, are we going to do it after?
Yeah, we're going to open you guys up to questions.
Okay.
Does anybody have to go home? You guys got a little bit of time. Joe said we could stay a little bit. We're not going to be over much. We good? Yeah, we got a thumbs up from Joe.
All right, grab that chair. So we're going to
bring up one of you audience members. We're going to test you on how well.
You good?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah?
Is it in?
Yeah?
Okay, we just want to make sure the people live streaming can see us all.
Ooh, it gets scary when I get really close to you guys. Sorry about that. Okay. There. So we have a special student who, guest, who has been part of this journey for just 6 weeks. So she is just wrapping up her first cycle through our Mindful Creators course. And she made
I
it.
guess we should say it's a 6-week.
It's a 6-week program. And what's really cool about this is our students are all lifetime members. And we guide these processes 4 times a year because you're not going to get it all the first time through.
Well,
So
we're still doing it. It's forever.
Yeah, you don't
It's not-
stop.
There's
You never
not
stop
an
training.
end point until death, I guess.
So one of the reasons why we're bringing this person up is when she first started training, she made a declarative statement. She said, "I am going to be one of your best students." So she laid it out right there. And so Lara,
Yeah.
Lara, would you come up and join us? So I don't know if there's any
I'm
general.
pretty sure I said the best, not one of the
The best.
Okay, I'll
the
take
best. So
it. Sorry, Gina.
let's get you in here. Okay, so you might know Laura from General Hospital. She is Carly.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
We're like all snuggled in, the three of us.
I know, look at this. Look at all the, oh, now the hearts come out. So you want to say hi to your team?
Oh, yes.
Look, there's
team
PJ,
Laura.
look at him. There's Kristen. There's our light. There we go.
Yeah,
We're
the
gonna
most
snuggle
important
in.
thing in the, on that.
There we go.
Okay, so, wow, look at what's happening.
I don't know. Sorry for all you people. We're
But you guys are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey!
So we thought it would be fun to bring Laura up because you have done a ton of personal development work.
Yes. Yeah.
For how long?
3 years.
Is that when you really
I
started?
mean, I've dabbled in it here and there over books I've read, but I would say 2013 I did my first Deepak Chopra retreat,
Okay.
and that's what started just going inward, I think.
So I'm always curious. Here is a woman who is obviously beautiful, successful. She's an Emmy Award-winning actor. She's got another Emmy she's going to win this year.
Yeah.
I saw the reel. Why would you do this kind of training? Well, I mean,
People might think you have it all,
Right.
Right.
just wrapped up and that everything's perfect.
Well, because everyone that we were talking about that earlier, that's on the outside, right? People think, oh, you have this, you have that, you have this, but if you don't have it internal, the outside doesn't really matter. And that's just a job, and the stuff I own is just stuff. And I love my job and my stuff, but it's really about inside and being whole. I think inside, and I think that's
So
I know that's a.
How did you know? What was it that made you feel like there was something else?
Well, I do a lot of fan events back east. One of the things I do a lot of fan events back east, and so dealing with people and speaking with people, and so many people. I'm being very honest here. So many people would be like, you know, something you said in a Twitter. This is going back a while ago. Something you said or something you did, and I'm like, oh, and I'm thinking, well, I don't remember what I said or did. And then
she
I
just
thought,
said, I don't remember what I said.
yeah, I don't remember what I said or did. Like, and I'm like, wow, what this matters, and people were looking, saying, you have it figured out, or how do you do this, and how you, and I'm like, but I don't. And I thought one of the things we talked about was I want to live in integrity. And then, you know, we all have things in our life that probably pull the rug out from underneath us at times, and I had a moment that did, and I realized I really didn't know how to stand back up after my rug was pulled out. And I had to learn, I had to get to know Laura to figure out how she can pull me up. And that has been the most amazing journey ever. I have to
I like
say,
the smile on your face.
well, because I've gotten to know me, and that, I mean, wow.
Can you guys feel how this is so cool? Because this is, we talked at the beginning, it's not about did you win the Emmy. She's done that.
I mean, that was a great night, but,
Yeah, but
but it was gone like that. And you know what? How about this? Like, it was in Vegas, and it was so much fun. I had the best night ever. But the drive home, it's like no one gives a shit about that. No one cares. It's in my apartment in LA, and it's great. And oh my gosh, I love it. It was a great night. But Laura has a lifetime to live, and I got a whole bunch of other things I want to do besides stare at the Emmy and look at the picture from that night. Again, it goes back to the picture, and yeah, it's. I mean, all that stuff is great, but I want to feel that all the time in here, and I don't just want it to be one night because what if I don't win? What if I didn't win? Yeah, I'm
So,
still. I
so
still wanna
what
feel
is
good.
it about now?
But you
now-
gotta lean in, 'cause
oh,
they're the-
okay.
there
I
you go.
know. Hi.
I'm like sandwiched between these two Lauras. I'm in hell right now. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. All right, that's not going to work. We're going to have to push this back just a
well,
little
that
bit.
was a nice.
Wow. Okay. I'm living my dream.
Okay.
The double L's.
Right.
Okay. So
Two Lauras and a Bill.
So you are doing some work independently with Bill on
Yes.
the same process. But
Yes.
you are a recent or just about to graduate from the
Yes.
Mindful Creators course.
First
And-
time
And
through.
so
Yeah,
what
first time.
is it? If you just share, what is it that you've gotten this time around?
Well, so many things. Like as you were all through every element, I'm like in there. Oh yeah. Gosh. Well, the void. Everything you said was right on. You sit in the void and you're like, well, I could stay here. And you're like, but that's gonna get you nowhere. Then you can declare it. Like my experience, I will tell you. The void I loved, and I talked about this, and then declaring it, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. And then you get to water, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta do it.
Remember, that's it. We lose a lot of people.
Oh yeah, or like water element for me was really like, and it was really tough, and I didn't want to go to it. And you get a huge book.
Big?
Yeah,
The
your
playbook.
Your playbook is
playbook.
like a lot of stuff to do, but it's all planned out to just bring it out and
There's
and I re-
small exercises along
Yeah.
along the way, and it's just a little bit of it's good.
And
but-
water, I was like,
But you-
looking at it, laying there, I didn't want to. But when I went into water and I really gave away to it, it was the most incredible experience. And there was one thing Laura had said to me when I was making a declaration. I'm like, I've made it before, but this time serious. And she's like, why? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And then she says, what course correction did you make? I remember this sticks. And that's something that you really have to ask yourself. And why is it going to be different this time, which goes back to your why. But the course correction was huge for me. And for me, it was a transformation of a night of me sitting with that playbook, like, all right, we're going to go at it in the water element, because that's where the action takes place. Like you said, you can go to the void and you can live there in La La Land if you want to stay there, because that's really all it is until you declare it. And then we can all make really solid statements, but the shift of action is when it takes place. And that's where you say it's all right. You lose people because that's where you got to step up.
Right.
That's where you have to own it.
What were you afraid of when you first started the course? Because there's some fear around doing
Oh,
something
absolutely.
like this.
I'm afraid of.
I remember really clearly.
Oh, great. So I hope I don't get it wrong. You're afraid of making a mistake, failing yourself, right? I mean, my big thing I said to Bill is I want to walk my talk. I want to live in integrity. I know I see her. How do I get to her? And that the steps of getting there, I really at the time was unsure of, but not today.
So
But-
fear of doing
Fear.
it right and uncertainty of the process.
Oh, well, and mainly of going, what if I can't?
What if I can't? What if I fail it? That kind
what,
of thing?
What if I can't own my word? I've written so much down. I mean, I've got journals out there, whatever, but how come it's never shifted before? Honoring myself, making the commitment to me, and failing myself over and over again. And you think that there are these big things, like I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and it's like, it wasn't. It was like, now I take a bath almost every night. I gift myself that. And then I get to gift, because I gift myself, then you have so much more to gift other people, and it's these little shifts that actually are like the biggest shifts. And it really is. It's these little things that at the end you go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to share and give and da-da-da. And before, if you don't give those things to yourself, then you fight for them. Like, well, I should have it. And you become this person that no one wants to be around and no one wants to listen to, and nor do you.
You just said something really, she said, when you don't gift yourself with those things, you fight for them. You get angry and you get resentful, right? That was really significant. When you gift them to you, you're in that flow and you have so much more to gift.
Oh,
That's a mother thing. That is a mother thing.
if you choose it to be.
Excellent.
She's
Coach in training. Well, actually, an awesome coach.
Well, you know, it's true though, because Laura said something today on the chat. It's really our responsibility. We can live in that dialogue, and we do.
The
But
story that it's
Right.
our circumstances, or we're victim to.
And not
other
that there isn't a
people.
reality of that story. I mean, you are a mother, you do have kids, we have responsibilities, absolutely. But we really have a responsibility to ourselves as well, or we can't give to our kids and
First,
everybody else.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What has been the most fun part of the training for you?
Because we know the water element.
Well, the water element, I have to tell you, what ended up being so much fun because I put like this incredible music on and I took a bath. I sat my ass in water. I'm like, you're getting in. You are so going into water. You're getting in the water. And so I did that.
It's important to understand the element.
Yeah. And Bill was like, and then you drink this week. Drink water, like water, and I'm like, all right, and I'm like, it's so true. And then you're thirsty all the time. You're like, I'm really in water. And then it just became this fun, beautiful experience. And then, you know, when he talked about going in a year into your future self, I went into that future self and saw the life that I was like, oh my gosh, like when I really broke through the water element and existed in it opposed to fighting it. That was so much fun. It was a party. Like that was one of the most incredible nights ever. Because you're gifting yourself. You're allowing yourself to see everything that's possible.
So what would you say if there's some, because we have some of you who are already in the Mindful Creators course here and in Warriors for Change, but what would you say to someone who might be a little bit nervous, but who is considering joining the Mindful Creators course? What would you want to say? What would be your gift or share with?
Gosh. You can't be afraid. I mean, I said it today. We were driving up. Your life depends on it. Mm-hmm. Your life depends on it. I said if I didn't, I'm a very happy, joyful person. I've always been excited about life and talking to people and hearing people's stories. I tell stories for a living. I love connecting with people. And I was at a very low point for a while, and I thought, I've got to get back to her, or my soul's gonna die. Like my life depends on it. And that's on any little thing, whether something big happens or little, you finding your joy, your purpose, and living the best insane life ever, or die. I mean, Bill, something that stands out to me that you say all the time, but from now till death.
Between now and dead.
Between now and dead, I'm living.
And we don't know how long that
No.
is.
Well, and then we were meeting or talking or something one day about getting together because we do train privately, and he sent me a picture from this. I didn't know where he was at first, and I thought the picture that he sent was like, hurry up, because the picture said waiting. And he goes, did you look at that picture? And I zoomed in, I'm like, oh my God, you're in a cemetery. What the hell are you doing in a cemetery? And then he goes, read the sign. And it was like, wow. He said, we all know how our story ends. What are you going to do?
There's this beautiful bench at the Santa Barbara Cemetery overlooking the ocean, and carved in the back of it are the words waiting. And you look at it, and there's hundreds of these gravestones, and it's, what are you guys waiting for?
Yep.
What is going to have to happen for you to remember that you are the greatest gift that has ever walked the face of this earth, and bringing that gift, sharing that gift, and realizing it?
But I do want to say, there in your minds, like only each of you know those little things that have stopped you up to this point, and we all have them or have had them. Mindful Creator, it breaks them down. Like if that's the gift, you're afraid, we're all afraid. I mean, who's not, right? We all have our stuff, no matter what your job is or what you look like. We all have our stuff. It's facing them, taking that one down. Facing it, taking that one down. I mean, your life depends on it.
I've spoken like a warrior.
Yeah.
So how about a hand for Laura Wright?
Oh, thank you.
Okay. That was really fun. And so what we would like to do, first of all, where's Joe? I want to thank Joe. I want to thank the team here at Tooth and Nail. We would like to invite you guys. So the Mindful Creator, here's the big sales pitch. It is a $1,200 one-time investment, and you are in the course forever, for as long. We guide you through 6-week cycles 4 times a year. We have payment plans. You can do $100 a month for a year. If you pay in full, it's $1,000. If you join tonight, we take an extra 10% off. So we have, in the back of the room, we've got some tablets. You guys can start training with us immediately. It is the ride of your life. It is not, we have this private Facebook group, and it's really amazing because people share wins, and then people go in there and they
share struggles.
It's really
Yeah,
deep
it's
struggle.
a very supportive community. And just to clarify, it's 6 weeks and it's self-guided, but what we found is people really love to do it as a group and to have us guiding. So there is a weekly hour specific Q&A for your community. I mean, for your group that's going through at that particular time. If you opt out of one during the, you get to choose, you get to create it, but we have set it up so that you can be a part of a community, you can be led by us, and then all the materials and everything are online and accessible whenever you want to.
The playbook that she talked about.
She kind of went like
Yeah.
that. That looked a little intimidating.
And the journal. And guys,
It to be. It's worth everything.
It's a really, yeah.
Yes, it's very important to have
Yeah.
it.
It's
what
very-
we did
it's
is
critical.
we took 50 years of our life study and we condensed it into honestly what I believe is the most I believe it is the most powerful transformational course.
It's an adventure.
And the call, let them know you can get in at any time. Like if you miss it at 11.
This is-
Oh, yeah, and we always record the
Everything is
calls.
recorded and
Everything's
everything's
recorded,
stored
so you
for
have
you
access
guys.
to
So
everything.
we're going to be able to have a little bit more wine. We're going to hang out. Do any of you guys have any
Questions,
questions?
burning questions right now about anything.
The training, the course, the adventure. Thank you. You guys have been really great sitting here and being with us. Did what we share resonate? Could you guys feel it? That's what this adventure, guys, I swear. Here's the other thing which is so much fun. The world doesn't talk like we do all the time. There is so much negativity and there's so much low vibrational stuff going on there. And one of the selfish reasons we created the group is because I am unwilling to spend my life with negative, uninspired people talking about things that don't matter. And with Laura coming up, she's like, you know what, this is so much fun to actually be talking about things that matter and doing things that have impact and grace and joy.
And growing,
Yeah.
continuously growing.
And you can't do it wrong. Yes, ma'am in the blue shirt, who's been training with us for 3 years.
Well, I just want to say, one of my sole purposes is being an awesome mother. And I just always wanted to be a mother, and I am. And doing this, just testimonial, impacted me so much. And in doing that, it helped my raising my children. The water thing you talk about, I hear it constantly. It's like my child, I'll hear someone, Mom, water.
No, that's great as a parent.
And so by doing this, you can't help but impact others. And so whether, it's something
Everyone around you.
We go out into the world and people want to know, oh, you're not different. What's going on? And I don't need to sell it to anybody. There's lots of
Right.
people out there who are selling, courses and religions and everything. But I just know for myself, by me taking care of me, that part of my sole purpose of being a great parent, it comes from that.
Wonderful.
They take it and go with what they want with that.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right, well-
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
Adam Montiel.
Really quick, there's something that I noticed in light of like change and discovery. There was something that's written on the wall in the guy's bathroom. It's not going to be.
And you're going to share it now?
But I just
Nice
wanted to
opener.
say that it was actually kind of cool. It says nostalgia cannot change a thing. These are the days after. Everything now is measured by after. And I just thought what we're talking about and stuff, but that just kind of last sentence kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is what's really
For
important.
now, going forward, yeah.
Everyone in this room has a heavy past. Everyone.
It looks different.
The past is dead. The past is heavy. You know what isn't depressing? The future you can create when you're turned on. I don't care what your current circumstances are. When you get forward focused and you get turned on, it's incredible. So we're going to hang out. We've got tablets. If you sign up tonight, and you can do it on your phones. Go to lifeadvancednow.com. The code is success now.
It's on the
one
back.
word, lowercase.
On the back of the
and we've got
smaller circle, the page with the
Gina's
smaller
got her
circle.
hands up. Oh yeah, oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
We're gonna give away a $1,200 program right now. So you got your raffle ticket. Get ready.
Okay. All right. What's that? Oh,
Well, that's important.
When you came in, we had raffle tickets.
you didn't sign up?
It's not too late. You guys on Facebook, sorry. Okay.
It's not too late?
But you guys can use Success Now code.
And what is the discount? What are they getting?
Well, okay, this person's going to get a free membership.
No, but what's the discount?
Oh, 10% off.
10%.
Okay.
Yeah, 10%.
All right. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So this is a person who's about to be on our team.
Wait a second. Let me get my glasses. Great. Are you guys ready? Yes. 1448773. You got to stand up and dance on the way up here.
Who won? Who won? Who won?
1448773.
Is that you?
All right, give it.
Yeah!
Oh, you take
Oh, very cool. Wait, what's your name?
What's your name? Come up.
Yeah, come on up, come on up. Well, you guys get to take a picture. Yeah, oh yeah, you're gonna get a book and everything. Come on up. Hi Tracy, welcome. Hey Laura, come up. We need a picture with our winner. Come on.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Tracy?
Well, how did you get here tonight?
Shaka, my friend Shaka.
Shaka, thank you.
That's a great.
Oh, there you go. All right. Big smiles. 2017 is going to be epic. All right. So we're going to hang out, have a glass of wine. We'll connect back there if you have questions. Thank you guys. Thank Joe.
Thank you all
And
for your time.
that's it. Let's say goodbye to everybody on Facebook. Everybody on Facebook, peace out.
Go Tracy.
Yeah.
Go Tracy.
So lifeadvancednow.com, Success Now. Get started and join us. Thank you guys.
I'd love to hear a story.
Yeah.
Here.